everyone, and welcome to OpenCV Weekly Webinar, episode 96, I think. Pretty sure it's 96. I'm Phil Nelson, your co-host with the co-most, the second banana who is second to none. I'm also your plus one and only. It's Mr. Nelson, if you're nasty, but you can call me Phil, and I'll be your huckleberry. But first, I'm here to remind you of a few things we do every single week here on OpenCV Weekly Webinar. We'll be having a presentation by our friend Jinger. Jinger, go ahead and say hi to the folks here. Thanks so much for joining us this week.
Hi everyone, I'm Jinger. I'm joining from Pattaya, Thailand.
Sounds like a beautiful part of the world based on my quick Googling before the show started. Later on in the episode, we'll be doing a giveaway to you in the audience, so stay tuned for that. I'll be asking a trivia question. You'll be able to answer that question, and we will give you a free copy of the OpenCV new OpenCV course, Mastering AI Art Generation. We just successfully closed that Kickstarter campaign. I'm actually going to pull it up right now so I give you the proper final tally, which was 1,486 backers pledged $143,381 for this, our most affordable course ever. If you missed out on the AI art generation for everyone or the master bundle here on the Kickstarter, you can now go to Indiegogo and still save a big chunk off of the final price. It'll only be $39 instead of $29 on the Kickstarter campaign, but the final price will be $59, so you're still saving like 20 bucks. We're also taking questions and answers from you in the audience. Please use the Zoom Q&A button to ask your question at any time during the show, or type it in the chat system wherever you're watching, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, whatever you got, YouTube probably. Good morning, YouTube. Yeah, so with that, Dr. Satya Malik is out this week. He's not feeling well. Feel better, Satya. We will hopefully see you again next week. Jinger, without further ado, take it away. What brings you here this week?
Yeah, well, I got an email from Phil on Wednesday saying, that could join my show. So
little behind the inside baseball for y'all, because obviously it looks like I've got everything so well handled over here. Just pull the curtain back a little bit, Jinger.
yeah. Anyways, hi everyone. My name is Jinger. Being friends with Phil, I'm actually from Hackster.io. I'm the contest manager at Hackster. For those of you who are not familiar, it's a global community of embedded engineers, we have amazing community online. We host a really fun contest that I'll show with you today. One of the newest contests we just newly launched, and Phil is actually one of our judge. And
very, very interesting contest. Happy to serve as a judge. Hopefully I do a good job judging.
Yeah, so we're also a global community, and people from around the world post open source tutorials on our website, as well as we do a lot of developer engagement events with big companies. And maybe I can just start even showing some of the screen share, so you know what I'm talking about. Can you see my screen?
Sure can.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Hackster.io really really started in the early days when Arduino and the homemaker movement was going on, and this was like the home for people who have built their projects with this kind of different hardware to showcase where their projects are. And we also have like a weekly show called Hackster Cafe that's hosted by my colleague Alex Glow,
who has been on this show for a couple of months ago.
And so for people who loves just exploring electronics, they can go by different platforms, going to different platforms, it range from any there's like new ones that's coming up all the time, as well as things like AMD, Arduino, Raspberry Pi, all the big open hardware brand names you can think of out there.
Yeah, including the OpenCV AI kit, the Oak series are represented on there by some cool projects as well.
Yeah, so OpenCV has their own channel as well. That's like their own community. That's the page right here, and you'll see some of the OpenCV courses that's linked here, as well as other people projects from all around the world that's using OpenCV.
Yeah, and if
So
folks don't know, like you can go submit your projects to this page for free and just, show people what you're working on. You get a nice, layout of a page. You can upload, kind of content about how it was created, et cetera, et cetera.
yeah, exactly. So people really love just using Hackster, as a way to showcase their own projects. It's a web link that you yourself can use, and also we have so the page that I run is this contest page right here. We have and these are so we work with all sorts of different hardware companies, from Infineon, AMD, Nordic, all these semiconductor companies in hosting their contest. And usually these are really fun, have lots of prizes for people to win. So this one was a contest we ran last year with a Seed Studio, IoT into the wild. Really had a lot of amazing project came out of this one, from all over the world, people using seed kits to tackle either it's like conservation problems, sustainability things. Helium was also part of like the sponsor.
Interesting.
So
Who
yeah.
was so who won this one? What was the grand prize winner on this contest?
Oh, the grand prize winner was actually a little girl. See this
Oh
one?
wow.
It's actually a father-daughter project. That's really
Wow,
cool.
that's amazing. Yeah.
She's in her seventh grade. She's a seventh grader. She's a
Holy
seventh grader.
smokes.
Yeah, and her dad, Mithin is also the judge on our Smart Campus contest.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, she's
Maybe we'll meet in the judging room as
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and she, built a smart lake detection algebra application, like
wow.
with ML and all the way from putting together the hardware, getting it tested. She shows,
Oh
like
wow,
how
that's
she
yeah, that's a serious project.
yeah, like with tiny ML and everything. Yeah, this is a seventh grader, so she's one of like my favorite.
Amazing.
And then there's another one. This is also Ranuk, another one of our like really super like young hackster,
Hmm.
kind of like
Illegal sand mining. Wow.
yeah. So he built a project on monitoring illegal sand mining, also using AI, using like Seed Studio's hardware to kind of like showcase like a prototype. But yeah, like the whole even aspect of understanding that, right, as a problem, and
Hmm.
how he tackled it, how he documented everything. I mean, this kid is just like amazing.
Wow.
So
That's so much content. That's really impressive. Like the
mhm, mhm.
documentation is what impresses me. I'm always forgetting to do that stuff. And so it's very impressive. Like the kids are all right. They're doing better than me.
Yeah, and it's just such a great way for them to really to really practice those kind of, what sometimes in engineering school, like we call it soft skills, right?
Yeah.
You can be like good at number crunching and whatever, but really at the end, when you want to demonstrate like your technical talent and like what you're really solving, like the Hackster is just a really great way that's already structured. It's
Hmm.
web based, and for you to demonstrate like what you can do with the technology. So we host another really fun contest that we host yearly is the US China Young Makers Contest. So let me just
Hmm.
show you right here. Um, it's and this is actually quite fun. The winner before pandemic, the winner of this competition actually gets a full paid trip to go to China, and it's actually a talent exchange type of program to encourage more of the collaboration and exchange in
Wow.
for college students. Yeah, and so every year Hackster is the US division host, and we we pick our side, the US side of like 10 winners, to advance into the final that to compete with a China team.
Wow, that's really cool. I actually didn't know about this one. Very neat.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the page myself now too. There's so many cool projects here. Yeah, who were the big winners on this past the most recent edition of this contest?
For this U.S. division semifinals,
Yeah.
actually, you know what? Last year, I don't think so. I think this one, the Team Edison, this fresh air one, was the winner that was in the final, and they end up winning, I think somewhere like $5,000 in prize money, for that contest. But yeah, for this contest, usually there is no limitation on what kind of hardware you can use. So whatever you have in your garage, on your table, or in your lab, you can build a project with it and submit it, as long as like part of your story is related to the contest theme. And usually it's about
Yeah.
sustainability, about community development, tech for good. Yeah.
Yep,
So
very, very important. Something we talk about a lot on OpenCV. A couple things we talk a lot about on this show. The first of which is, genuinely trying to think about the effects of the stuff we're working on, and explicitly trying to support projects that are using technology to make the world a better place instead of just a more profitable one for a short time. Um, Shout out to Silicon Valley Bank. Um, but Also importantly, what these Hackster pages give you, and these participating in competitions and contests like OpenCV, like the ones that Hackster uh, administers as well, is it helps you kind of gain this skill that, some you might say it's a soft skill, but I think it's as important as being a good engineer, whatever that means, as a software or hardware side, is being able to present your work in a meaningful, intelligent, understandable way to whatever audience you're in front of. And I think the Hackster thing is really nice because you're presenting it mostly to an audience of people that are fellow makers, and so people can kind of help each other learn how to get better at this without needing some kind of special instruction from somebody. You just sort of learn through doing it, and I think that's really important.
yeah, absolutely. And one of the cool things that always with Hackster contest, a lot of people participate is the free hardware giveaway aspect of it. So this one is another contest that's live right now, and it's the third time we hosted, which is NXP's drone competition. And so people from around the world, right, they could actually apply for free hardware. Usually we have like a apply for hardware stage, and then we ship these hardware around the world so that people can build their projects with it. So usually that's a pretty exciting period of time when people can apply for free hardware. And this is actually Hackster's bread and butter, like since its beginning. How Hackster even built its community, because it was in the early days when Amazon was evangelizing, first released like the Echo Dots, right? Like
Hmm.
we should
Hmm.
actually those products to around the world, whether they are in Africa or in China, in Asia, from around the world. So those people get access to the hardware, and then at that time, like we would also send them materials so they can host local meetups to teach people how to use those hardware. And so we still do that to this day, and it's one of the really cool thing that I really enjoy, as part of like when I run these campaigns. I think there was like one time somebody from Africa said, oh, like if it wasn't for Hackster, that piece of, we got that first piece of that hardware in our continent. I forgot what piece of hardware he was talking about, but those kind of moments also very much like resonate with me. But yeah, the NXP drone contest, it's also kind of like yearly. They run it every year, or every kind of a year and a half. Depends on like where their product stage is at. Uh, Also very, very, very interesting, and maybe some computer vision folks would be interested in this as well to join the next contest, because they have
Mm.
also quite in terms of NXP's NavQ Plus board, which is the mission computer for the drones. And for drones, if you are looking at building application for a drone to autonomously navigate in like a GPS guide environment, let's say in the underground mine, it's all computer vision.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. It looks like, yeah, I know that's Ramon has become a friend of mine. He was at the open source robotics meetup a few months ago here at in San Francisco. So the guy just above PX4 there, Mr. Pollo on Twitter. I call him the Chicken Man.
Yes.
Good morning, good morning, Ramon, if you're watching.
Is Ramon watching? Oh, that would be fun if he's watching. Uh,
I'm gonna
but yeah,
text him
like
right now and be like, "Why aren't you watching my show?"
Ramon has his show too. You should go on there sometime.
That's true.
Yeah. So Hover Game is another one that's really fun, and I think for some computer vision fans could really we have a pretty during this contest, actually right now, like everyone's already like in this final building stage. There's a lot of open source development and collaboration happens on the Discord, because everybody's working on this intensively, right? So there's just so much in terms of collaboration and code development in the very distributed global network, that because everybody's working on the hardware all at the same time, and then they would come up with something that's probably like missing, but then submit pull request to the larger PX4 repository. So that open ecosystem and open source development is very, very much ingrained in this contest, and I think people gain a lot from it.
Yeah, we had PX4 on the show. I think back in maybe episode 70 era, something like that, a few months ago, and it was a really interesting, fun episode. Definitely encourage folks to check out PX4 and check out these contests here. So there's so many going on. So it's contest season, as you know, as it's sort of contest season and event season. Like next week is the Game Developers Conference here in San Francisco, which I will be going to. If anybody out there wants, I think I probably still have some OpenCV stickers around here. If anybody wants one, I'll have some in my bag. So hit me up if you're at GDC next week. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, drones and computer vision just like really goes well
Yeah.
really together. And even I think actually PX4's founder came out of ETH Zurich's computer vision department, because at the time actually how PX4 even came about was their university competition in the Europe's math, which is aerial vehicle, like miniature air vehicle, kind of like a competition that really spurred out like all the PX4 as an open source project, and Pixhawk, which is like the hardware that's with drones and stuff.
Right.
Much about drones. Yeah. But anyways, so like feel really invited me to talk about our newest launch contest called Smart Campus, which we're super excited because it's a collaboration between us and Arduino and the DFRobot. It's actually our first hardware co-branded kit. Here's Phil.
I recognize that guy.
Yeah, this is
Look at that! Look at that handsome guy next to that weird looking dude in the jacket.
Yeah, like it was really fun. We took this photo a couple of months ago when we were visiting Circuit Lunch, which is another innovation space that has lots of startups in Oakland.
Yeah, super cool space. Yeah, any folks in the Bay Area, yeah, do check them out. The super cool space, really interesting stuff going on. Just a lot of a lot of different kind of technology, just all happening on one floor of this building. It's really interesting.
Yeah, they have they have like the offices. I think there's how many different companies there are, like 50 to
I
70,
think it was
like.
like 50 something, yeah, when we were there. And yeah,
Yeah.
lots of robotics. They're even doing like biotech stuff, like very interesting stuff. Like some plant technology, etc. I think they're also hosting the robot block party now. Is that true as well?
Yeah, Robot Block Party is gonna be on April 8th. Yeah, April 8th, if anyone, in the Bay Area wants to join, it's a kind of also a yearly event that's pretty cool. And there have talks, they'll have robot demos. The
Mhm.
space itself is, like very interesting as well. Like what Phil was saying, all sorts of startups are there. When we were there, we saw a lunar lander kind of
Yeah.
prototype, like different space like rovers,
And
and
there was also I'm just remembering now, there was, I can't remember this person's name, but the dude was working on some self-lacing Marty McFly shoes from Back to the Future.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I wonder how that turned out.
and Doctor Who,
Oh yeah,
and Doctor
I'll
Who.
have to. You're right. I'll have to look that up now. Note to self.
Yeah, and I think there was even like a startup that was working on recycled material to make t-shirts, that
Hmm.
type of thing, right? It's
Yeah.
uh yeah, lots of like very interesting tech startups there. Lab spaces. They had a lab space,
Yeah,
for
they had
battery.
like a whole like fab lab like downstairs as well with like woodworking stuff, like all sorts of.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyways, got off the shop a little bit, but that was a day when we actually got those first kits in hand, and it was very happy that Phil was also there, to model for us. So
That
yeah,
was a
these
fun day.
yeah, totally. So the kits, it's it's off the shelf components actually from DFRobot, but we actually put it together really as more of a like a beginner kit to offer to university students, or you kind of in like that range of like beginner university students. So when they start working on some sort of project, they have like a getting started kit, that's easier than them just have to go research, research on, and go through like a whole shopping mall of different sensors, they and to kind of like put together their project pack, right? And so there's like getting started with AI kit that has the husky lens in there. That's kind of like the cool featured hardware in here. And then there's the environmental sensing one. I actually use that personally as a project of mine when
So
I was.
tell me a little bit more about that environmental sensor. I'm really interested in that piece of this kit.
Yeah, this one is a soil. This one's a
Yeah,
soil.
I've built some of those, like the classic, put a couple nails in the dirt, like to
Mhm.
measure the resistance. Like, yeah,
Sure. Yeah, you stick it in the dirt, and it gives you pH level,
hmm
like all these different parameters, for like
yeah. So
your
it'll
soil.
probably. I wonder how well. Yeah, like the issue, of course, when you just use metal, is that it's going to corrode, and that's naturally going to change the readings over time, and so it's kind of tough. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. I might
Yeah.
have to buy some of those for myself. I'm trying to smarten up the plants around here. They're
Yeah, yeah, totally. The one I used this one for when I did my project, it was actually for a composter. It was a for community composter that we built, where um yeah, and we had to.
So like this was for like a safety feature to measure if it's getting too hot or too wet or what?
Yeah, or more like the scientific type of, give you a trend, of like when it start composting, what temperature it goes up to, and
Because
then
you want certain conditions for
yeah,
optimum composting, I'm assuming. Yeah, is that accurate?
yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. And with composting, actually, at that time, the also the fun part was that the we have to turn it. So it was like a drum roll type of thing, and then we have to like turn it, so it so like so there's like some like stirring also going on, to create that kind of like a whole environment type of thing. Yeah. So um but anyways, let's go back to the kit here. So yeah, the
hmm
environmental sensing one, that's quite cool, as well. And then the getting started with the IoT one,
Yeah, I see like
we
a mono speaker here, and is there an amplifier on this kit as well?
Yes, let me
Okay.
just go into here. There is there's there are speakers. There's this one that I've never
Oh, huh.
there's the
There's a
mini
little
MP.
MP3 player. Hmm.
Yeah, that breakout board. I've never used
Cool.
it myself, but it's a really fun little kit, to
Yeah, it looks like you got ultrasonic sensor in there. You can do all sorts of, you get all sorts of fun trouble with this.
yeah. So yeah, we're super excited to launch this contest. We have different price categories. That's going to be lots of swags from Arduino, from DFRobot, as well as us. And we're looking for we came up with some fun inspiration things that what people just could build, to smart up their campus, and lots of the like these are some of the inspirations I actually gathered from some of the students I talked to, like interactive learning experiences, by VR, AR. This one's like sanitization robots for like dorm rooms. We had a similar project like
Super, super necessary if you've ever met, an 18 to 20-year-old. The
that.
sanitization importance. I think maybe we just put them through like a dishwasher type system.
Yeah, and then there are a lot of like campus go-karts that could also be like retrofitted, like with electric powered. I did that when I was in college. So those are always fun, or just in general, any kind of like a go-kart like hacking could be fun.
Go-karts are always fun. Just the name is fun.
Yeah, and there really should be like more cars around all campuses, anyways.
Hmm.
Food court or cafeteria kind of like contactless, right? Now we're more now like the whole world, we're more conscious about like all the hygiene aspect, and like pathogen detection, those kind of stuff. So this is actually really interesting. They had something similar to that in Seed Studios own cafeteria when I visited them, like in China. So Seed Studio actually have one of this really
Interesting.
cool
We
this,
we'll be having someone from Seed Studio, I think April 6th, talking about the new Jetsons and a couple of other things. Shout out to Elaine.
yeah, that would be fun. They're also good friends
Also,
after
shout
all.
out Ramon has joined the chat. Good morning to Ramon and Ramon only.
Ramon! Oh my God. Okay, yeah, and then also smart vending machines that could really make your campus maybe a little bit more fun, and like maybe so like we're looking for any projects that hack the existing vending machines, right? Like that from campus. This one is actually super cool. A tree of life, it's a sacred tree on campus that syncs with your heartbeat. I mentor a lot of like university programs in terms of innovation or design or engineering, that kind of things, project-based learning in general. And this came up more actually from a art school. And when they actually start building with open hardware, some of like our traditional ones are always IoT monitoring, sort of plants and stuff. But right now, actually a lot more, I think younger generation are really I don't know what's the best way to describe it. They're very conscious more about their spirituality and mental health and just their connection, with other people. So this
Hmm.
was actually like they wanted so this was like it came direct actually from a student saying, oh, we really actually wish that we have a tree on campus that can light up, or like sync with your heartbeat, like all
Huh.
these kind of stuff, to to make you feel more connected.
Mm.
um so those are all very interesting. I think younger generation of inspirations that could totally use different kind of electronics to make that happen.
Hmm.
This one is really fun that could go with
Sort of
one.
like the White Tree of Gondor for the Lord of the Rings nerds out there.
Well, or the one that in Pocahontas,
Yes,
like
yes.
the the tree that actually talks to you, and yeah, your spiritual
Yeah,
tree.
can you paint with all the colors of the wind?
I can sing that. That's one of my favorite songs. Yeah. Yeah, so and any, like rentable companion bots that for pre-exam anxiety reduction, like these just all around, like the campus innovation of, how you have a not only just infrastructure wise interesting, like smart campus, but like the whole well-being of all the people that live on campus, where faculty, student. So we have like a student like engagement award as well. So from transportation, accessibility, we want people to think about, how to be more inclusive in their whole design thinking, and then, student engagement. How can you foster a sense of community, among different students and make that a better environment for everyone, not only just gadgets, right? But also with the essence behind how we can again, going back to tech for good, and bringing more empathy as well, in all these like
Hmm.
tech innovations, above just like infrastructures. Yeah.
Yeah.
So judges, we have DFRobot. We have Robot co-founder,
Hmm.
CEO, as one of our judge, and Mithan. Mithan's, awesome. He's this like super user of Hackster. He actually was a grand prize winner of the 2020 China US Young Maker competition. Built a lot of projects. So if you go to like his Hackster profile, it's like pretty amazing. And he's
Hmm.
a innovator and ambassador of many different companies, including like Edge Impulse, Balina, just and we just showed his daughter's project that was like pretty phenomenal too.
Yeah. Wow.
Uh,
That's yeah. Taking it back to the beginning of the episode there. Yeah.
well, yeah, like the and I love that kind of like generation approach too. Like to really have these like father-daughter projects.
Hmm.
That's really amazing. Jen's actually worked for the CTO office of Microsoft. Also a maker herself. Also builds a lot of tutorial. Used to be in the STEM education side of things, and yeah, so she'll also be one of the judge. And then there's our handsome Phil.
Hey, I know that guy. That photo is from the background of that photo is a bar that no longer exists. I've shut
Oh,
down. That's another one of the bars that I was a regular at that got shut down during the pandemic. Rest in peace, Polo Grounds. It's now known as the Stick, named after Candlestick Park. Um, I miss Polo Grounds. I'm just gonna say that. Um,
what
can we
about
quickly go back over the I'd like to take it. Yeah, can we individually go over these prizes real quick? Because I think folks, we've got a couple questions about them. I think and get it out of the way if we just quickly enumerate what all of the prizes that are available for this competition are, if you will.
Yeah, yeah. So the grand prize, so we're really actually looking for a for school to like eventually probably like implement, like these projects, once they apply. So the grand
So
prize
like
is
as a part of the actual school, like
yeah,
deployed.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. So right now, Arduino Cloud, Arduino Education is looking to work with different schools to promote their school plan. And it's like a classroom pack with all the different students and also teachers. There's like lots of like different added on features as well on the Arduino Cloud side of things. So yeah, like we have bunch of like different just amazing like swags and hardware coupon from a DFRobot. So there's also going to be DFRobot store coupon available for the different for the prices. And so really this one, like also have like sustainability award, safety and security award. Each of them, like the prize pool is not that huge. It's not like you're going to win $5,000, or like $3,000, but we created all these kind of different categories so that more winners can be there. So there's overall I think we have about like 14 different awards for people to win. So even if they just like submit a project, there's a very high chance of winning a prize.
Yeah, that helps a lot to have and like different focuses. I think this is a smart way to lay out these. We did something similar with the most recent OpenCV AI competition, which we've just sent out all the certificates for it over the last couple of weeks, and we're still a couple of people need to get their payment information. Hit me up so I can send you money. But we tried to spread out the amount of prizes and have some that in this case we actually had a special certificate people got if they just successfully submitted a project, because I think that's a huge accomplishment. Like most of the people that apply and start in these competitions, 80% of them won't submit anything. Submitting something itself is an achievement.
Yeah, submitting something itself is achievement, and we definitely we ran a big community survey last year at the end of the year, because we do contests, as bread and butter, and I'll show you some of the regular contests we have that does, like this one actually just closed down. It had like 3 winners. This is one of like the more traditional, like typical one where the first place is awarded like $3,000, and then the other ones are like with speakers, but there's only like 3 winners, and so for us, but this one, right, it's kind of like designed by Infineon, so that's kind of like the prize that they came up with. But for us, we really want to spread out the love, because so there's on this like smart campus one, we want to encourage more people, participate and give them chances to win, and in different categories, so and yeah, really just to encourage participation, and at the end of the day, winning project is great, but using this as an opportunity to really get some fun hardware to play with and build projects.
Yeah, it seems like a great opportunity. Lots of ways to win. Can we go over the timeline here real quick for folks? When do submissions close?
So the submission closes in May. Like right now, we have a free application for hardware period open. So actually this so you go to this tab right here, and then you can submit an application. You can also see like there's already a lot of like different interesting ideas that's already from around the world. That's pretty cool. Like this one, automatic like bathing system for disability people with hand, outdoor classroom environment sensing, and people, and there's this looks like from a high school. So
Yeah, and you
so
can
yeah.
go check these out if you're thinking about submitting and you're not quite sure. You can go check out what other people have submitted here, and um, maybe that'll help you figure out what you want to do.
Yeah. We're really looking just for, in this like application stage, it's really, like you'll be able to win a free hardware kit. And so originally, like right now, actually on the contest page, it says you have to be a US school to be eligible. But actually I just, finished talking with DFRobot today, and we're expanding that to worldwide. So, anybody from around the world, you are able to, put in application, and will and be able to be eligible for to win a free hardware kit.
That's awesome. That's pretty rare. I mean, what folks might not understand, if they're not in certain regions, like uh, shipping things to some countries is much harder than others, especially if it's coming from the U.S. Or even China. Like getting stuff into Brazil is very difficult to do affordably. Getting stuff into India is tough to do affordably from external, and so it's really awesome that your hardware partners are stepping up and doing that, because I know a lot of folks don't, because it is very difficult.
Yeah, it is very difficult, when it comes to like custom clearance, when it comes to just the overall logistics,
Mhm.
even cost wise, right?
Yeah, like
And
when we were shipping OpenCV AI kits, we were kind of taken aback. Like we prepared, very diligently, but we're still sort of taken aback by how expensive some of those customs, like uh, I don't remember which country it was now. It may have been Brazil, that it was something like a 200 or 300% import tax. So we were sending a free device that they wanted us to pay like $400 to give to someone for free. which is, you don't think about that stuff unless you do it. And so there's some inside baseball for the audience out there.
Yeah, it's very much underlooked, sometimes, and that's why actually a lot of like these hardware are not accessible in those parts of the world yet. It's because of those kind of like regulation. And like I said earlier, in the show, what really in the early days when Hackster was developing the community, taking care of that, um um sending, like the task of sending all these like hardware pieces,
Yeah,
even
the
it's just like,
logistics.
yeah, like to the world, really made a huge impact. Really made
Mhm.
a huge impact. And the like I said, some of the hardware pieces, it's like the first in that continent. And the so very similar, to that kind of sentiment. What we want to do, with this one as well is, um just just making hardware more accessible for everyone, in the world. And then also capture also capture their inspirations and their creations, that can then share more with the world.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so yeah, folks, you've got until what was that? So when does the hardware application deadline for this one currently?
It actually ends in 1 week, so everyone
So
putting your
March
application.
23rd.
Yeah, March 23rd. So like a week from today, because we're gonna make the announcement on Arduino Day. March 25th is
Okay,
Arduino Day, and Arduino have like a global celebration, and
sweet.
we are gonna, make announcement who's gonna win like the first batch of the hardware at that event.
That's great. Yeah, I've definitely got more than a few Arduino Unos kicking around here. I think probably maybe one of the early mega ones might be somewhere around in the Wizard Tower here. Big fan of Arduino. I've learned a lot about electronics. Learned a lot about making hardware just by plugging stuff into Arduino, and maybe burning out a couple of Unos. I may be guilty of that as well. It's
Yeah, yeah.
turns out, if you feed 12 volts to a 5 volt, it does not like it. Just a little bit of advice. Um, Not all barrel jacks are created equal, folks. Just check your voltages and your amps. It's very important. The life you save may be your own, or the hardware you save may be your own. Anyway, um,
Mm.
so yeah, I guess let's do our. We're coming up about 15 on the hour. I know you've got a hard stop at 10. I think we'll do our giveaway here. You can go ahead and unshare your screen for a second while we do our giveaway. Thank you. So yeah, everybody, if you're joining us for the first time or you just need a little reminder, one of the things we do every single week is give away something to you in the audience. If you're in the Zoom chat, you'll have the chance to win a copy of the Mastering AI Art Generation course from OpenCV, which just successfully kickstarted and is now on Indiegogo. It will be released on May 1st or early May. I think it still says May 1st on the site, so I'm not talking out of school there. Um, uh, by answering the following trivia question, which I have made up in the Zoom chat. If you're not in the Zoom chat, you can just try to hurry up and get in here by going to opencv.live. That's opencv.live. If you've won in the last couple of months, please don't answer and give someone else a chance to win. Earlier in the show, we talked about our friend Ramon, and he was on an episode of this show talking about the Pixhawk hardware standards and some of those other really interesting autonomous drone things. What is the name of the software package that they were talking about on that episode? What is the name of the software package we were talking about working with the Pixhawk hardware standards? You're close, Niraj. Not quite. The answer is not Ross, but shout out to Ross. Hi, Cat. I don't know if you're watching. Oh man, I might have finally stumped the audience here. Praise be. Do I win anything if nobody gets it? That's what we never figured out. We have not figured out yet on this show. I think everybody owes me a prize if they don't get it. You're close. You're close. The answer we're looking for is not autopilot, but you're damn close. Third time's the charm, Niraj. Ah, there it is. Third time was the charm. Niraj, you're correct. The answer we're looking for was PX4 autopilot.
What?
PX4. Congratulations, Niraj. Please send one email to phil@opencv.org, and we'll make sure that you get your prize, which is one copy of Mastering AI Art Generation by OpenCV courses, which will release on May 1st. So we got a bunch of questions from folks here in the peanut gallery. Thanks for sticking with us on this wild and woolly episode of OpenCV Weekly. We try not to miss shows. You know, it's one of those things. I believe the show must go on because there's nothing else for it. Steve earlier in the show asked if OpenCV will be at Embedded Vision Summit coming up in Santa Clara in May, and yes, we will. I will definitely be there. I'm pretty sure Satya will be there as well. So if you're going to Santa Clara for Embedded Vision Summit, come say hi. I think we're booth like 10, I think it's like 108 or something like that. I'll have to double check. This will go in the newsletter. If you're not on the OpenCV newsletter, please sign up at opencv.org/subscribe. You'll be the first to know when OpenCV is doing in-person events like the Open Source Robotics Meetup, like the Smart Campus contest here, and like the Robotics by the Bay, which Ross is running, and I will be speaking at later this month. Just all around the Bay Area, filled by the barrel full for you folks. So hopefully, yeah, Steve, if you're there, come say hi. We'll have stickers and stuff. Maybe some other exclusive OpenCV merch. We'll see how it goes. We're actually having a meeting about it tomorrow. So somebody asked if this video will be recorded, the recording of this video will be shared somewhere. Of course, it will be on our YouTube channel. You can go to youtube.com/@OpenCVAI. That's @OpenCVAI, or you can just search for OpenCV Weekly, and you'll probably find the playlist of every episode of this show, all 96 of them. I never actually have checked if that number is correct. I just at one point decided it was like episode 50, I think. So if anybody can call me out on being wrong about that, I'd love to hear it. R. O'Carroll would like to know. So I think you answered this in the chat already, Jinger. But how many contests are run per year on the Hackster.io contest platform?
Yeah, we try to run almost, like anywhere from like 10 to 20 contests. I think in the old days it's probably about like 20 contests, like in a year. I think back in 2018-ish, like pre-pandemic. But yeah, that's our goal this year. So we have like partner contests, and we have like community contests, and we also have Hackster initiative contests. So the Smart Campus is one of our Hackster initiative contests where we are leading. Which just means, like we like the campaign design, like the selection, the judge selection, everything is headed by Hackster. There are also, like some of the partner contests, like I just showed, like with Infineon, that's more like a partner contest, and usually those are very specific to certain hardware that's just newly released. The companies really like work with us in terms of like the whole global developer enablement. So there's actually going to be a couple exciting ones that are coming up this year, including AMD's new pervasive AI contest. That one is pretty big, and they will have like 3 categories. Each of them is like 10,000 in like first prize money. Used to be like a huge thing.
Yeah, they just made a couple big announcements about their foray into the kind of neural compute type hardware.
Yeah. So stay tuned, for like when that contest launch. Like I said, the Hover Games usually is like a yearly ongoing thing, and we work with Sony. Sony usually have like a contest with us, the US China Young Maker contest. Just like anywhere from like 10 to 20. It's so we do a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. A follow-up question from R.O. Carroll here. Are there particular times a year that there are persistent contests that have happened historically every year at the same time?
Some contests do, like the US China Young Maker contest usually launches in April and then ends in July each year. But the other ones, it's usually kind of subjective to that company's product launch, right? So let's say if this company's launching a product that's around usually let's say CES time, then they will probably start like a contest in like April timeframe or July timeframe, alongside to really evangelize that piece of hardware. So but we keep the contest. We usually have about like 3 to 4 contests that's always live. So like it's throughout the year. There's many contests for people to participate in.
Yeah, definitely. Good morning, Jessica. Jessica's in the LinkedIn chat.
Oh,
Yeah, I think I got a couple more. One question from me. So, you know, I run several contests for OpenCV here. I know how much work goes into those. The Hackster team always does such a great job on these. What was your favorite competition you've run on Hackster so far, Ginger?
hmm.
Or a favorite?
A favorite. Um, that's a tough question because it's like asking who's your favorite child. It's like
Yeah.
they're all different.
We,
Like they all have their own
we
different characters.
hard hitting journalistic questions here on OpenCV Weekly.
Yeah. I. y- y- Uh. Actually, let me think a little bit. Um. Yeah. This is gonna be a tough one, but
So
I.
you can think on that one a little bit. I've got another question here from the Peanut Gallery on YouTube. Um, they're interested in a little bit of Ginger's backstory. Like what were you doing before you became contest maven at Hackster?
I was PX4's community manager. Yeah. So.
So I hear.
Yeah. I went to school for mechanical engineering, and in college I built a net zero solar house. So that was kind of like my pride and joy in terms of my background. So it's called Solar Decathlon, and the house actually right now still lives on as a solar house in Las Vegas, and that's where I went to school. And then after
Neat.
that, um has there been and then after that I did my own startup in drones, and so that's how so I had like my own robotics company that we were building developer tools for drones, and then after that yeah, I was PX Force community manager and doing developer relations, community building for a long time, with Ramon. Um and
The chicken man.
uh,
The chicken man.
yeah, yeah. And then yeah, I just joined Hackster last year.
Yeah. And you are doing a great job over there. One more question before I know you got a hard stop here. Yeah, Divya would like to know, are you aware of any products that have been born out of Hackster competitions over the years? It's an interesting question.
That's a really great question. Actually, so we are we I have to go back and dig, but there have been startups that's born out of Hackster projects. There are actually many of the one of the contests we can go back and look. It's called IoT Into the Wild. The IoT Into the Wild is that contest that ran by Seed, and maybe that's almost on top of my list of one of my favorite contests, just because of the breadth and spread of that contest. It's yeah, there's a lot of like real products and real global projects came out of those, so you can all go check it out.
Yeah, definitely. So that's hackster.io. Thank you so much, Ginger, for being our guest this week. I really appreciate it. It was very fun talking to you about this smart campus contest that I am a judge on. We will be here again next Thursday, 9 a.m., same bat time, same bat channel for OpenCV weekly webinar. We'll be talking about AI for industry, autonomous warehouses, safety, stuff like that. So please join us for that episode. Satya should be back then. Hopefully, send your well wishes to Dr. Satya Malik. Hopefully, his his voice comes back and we can be listening to his dulcet tones explain to us the mysteries and magic of computer vision once more. I am your co-host with the co-most, thanking you once again for joining us. We'll see you next week. Take care of yourselves out there. Take care of somebody else if you can. Adios.
Thanks so much for watching this episode of the webinar. Please hit that like button, subscribe, and don't forget to tap the little bell icon to be notified when new episodes drop. This week's episode was brought to you by OpenCV Courses. Learn computer vision and AI from the best at opencv.org/courses. If you'd like to be in the audience next week, subscribe to the OpenCV newsletter.